although this piece may appear daunting at first glance, it has many aspects that make it more accessible than one might think. The first thing we notice is that it is one of the two pieces in the set that are for pedal timpani and that exploit the timpani's melodic potential. Although I recorded all of the pieces on the Yamaha TP9000 model timpani with Berlin post and clutch pedal system, these melodic pieces are much easier to execute on balanced action drums like the new Yamaha TP7300s. The reason for this is that while it takes 3 distinct movements to change the pitch on one drum with the post and clutch system, that is, release, change, lock, plus movement of the entire leg, the balanced action system requires but one ankle flex movement per pitch change. When there are few changes to deal with, this is not a very big issue. But when one is constantly changing pitches, like in this piece, it becomes relevant. Melodically, Carter uses his fair share of tritones and major sevenths, but if you analyze the lines carefully, you will see that he makes it easy to get to the right pitches and stay in tune. You will notice that this first part is in F. In fact, F is the only note that Carter specifies that has to be pre-tuned. He did this because in early performances of the pieces, the performers were taking too much time tuning between pieces. So you just have to tune the 26-inch drum to F, and all of the others can start their respective rolled glissandi from whatever note they happen to be on when you begin. So after you strike that first mezzo forte F on the 26, you have it in your ear, and you can use it as a pitch reference for the entire first 2 lines. If your drums allow for it, tune the bottom notes of each drum to the lowest note required for each. This will allow for quick blind tuning of those notes. One aspect that stands out in stark contrast with canto, the other melodic piece in the set, is that Adagio is metrically very free. In fact, it does not have a meter, but rather just note values with the instructions very freely. So yes, there is some composed rhythm, but it is open to great interpretation, which is a good thing because at one point he has you playing 2 consecutive notes with one hand on timpani 2 drums apart in a 64th note period of time. One of the experimental extended techniques that Carter explored in the piece is that of making a timpani head sound through sympathetic resonance. I am not going to get into the physics of that phenomenon here, except to say that in practice, it does not work very well for descending glissandi. In an ascending glissando, there is a surplus of energy to keep the head vibrating and sounding. Not so with a descending glissando. So per Carter's optional instruction, I tap the drum just prior to the descending gliss in order to make it audible to the audience. Another of Carter's experimental extended techniques is that of playing harmonics on the timpani. Well, the normal timpani sound is actually the first harmonic after the fundamental. You will note that the center of the timpani head is naturally a nodal point in this first harmonic. The second harmonic, a fifth above the first harmonic that we usually hear, is also very strong in the timbre of the timpani. But Carter wants us to mute the first harmonic and bring out the third harmonic, which is an octave above the first harmonic. I will just add to Carter's instructions for producing this harmonic that it is most effective when releasing the finger, touching the antinote of the first harmonic just after the drum is struck. At the top of the second page of Adagio, there is an engraving error indicating a restrike at the center of the drum on a high G. First of all, make the restrike a harmonic restrike and not in the center. Second, move it to the high A that follows in order to have enough energy in the head to hear the descent of the glissando all the way down to a D. The penultimate line contains this beautiful and very cleverly crafted rolling glissando all the way across the four drums, from a low C sharp on the 32-inch drum to a high A on the 23. He connects the gliss from one drum to the next by leaving one on the same pitch that the next one takes off. And if that weren't enough, while making the piano glissando, he brings out an interesting forte arpeggiated chord of C sharp, F sharp, A sharp, D, and A natural. You can make the multi-drum glissando smoother by rolling for just a second on both drums when they are on the same pitch at the same time.